In today's episode of Value in My Toy Collection, we're going to value some of our game show toys and memorabilia from throughout the years. And at the end of the video, I'll tell you how much everything's worth. Hey everyone, my name's Chris. I'm a full-time beauty pageant director as my career, but in my spare time, I'm a huge toy collector. I've been collecting toys now for over 40 years. You can officially call me a toyaholic. Thanks so much for checking out my YouTube channel. My channel consists mainly of two things: beauty pageants, which I love, and toys, which I love even more. My dream in life has always been to own a toy museum. So it's finally happened. I've bought a building, and now I've got to move this massive collection and value it into the building. We're calling it the Toy Vault because it's an old bank building located in Crystal Springs, Mississippi that actually has two large vaults. So now I'm just going to make a ton of videos and value my toy collection, and then I'm going to make some where I take you shopping with me to thrift stores and flea markets and toy stores to let you see where I find all these goodies. So let's start this episode of Value in My Toy Collection and value some toys. So let's jump right in and start seeing how much everything is worth. First, I have this little set of Price is Right doors I got from Etsy. It's probably worth about $12. I have this picture of Bob Barker, probably worth $1. A Wink Martindale drink, it's worth about $8. It's pretty cool. And then I have this male torso form, probably worth about $15. I keep one of our Price is Right shirts on that. This is one of the ones we wore to the Price is Right one time when we went to visit. I'm going to spread it out so you can see it, but here's my helper Daisy. She helps me in all my videos. This one says Mississippi Loves Drew with a Price is Right patch, probably worth about $10. It's not worth much, but it didn't bring us any luck. Next, we have a Jeopardy game worth about $10. Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grade's worth about $10, and the Shark Tank game's worth about $12. And here's my helper again. This is probably worth $2 for the frame. A Monty Hall and Wayne Brady button are worth about $3 each. And then we have some fake money. These are business cards, and when we went to Las Vegas, we started spreading these out on the floor as a joke to see if people would stop and pick them up. Have a mountain climber magnet worth about $8 and a little Price is Right magnet worth about $5. This magazine with Regis Philbin on the cover is worth about $12. And then this Game Show Fever magazine with Pat and Vanna on the cover is worth about $10. Then in the back, we have an old vintage Wheel of Fortune board game worth about $15. There's a picture of me and Ray when we went to the Price is Right. He's wearing that green shirt. We did not get picked. I kind of thought we had a chance that time. Here's some of our numbers when we went to the Price is Right. A photo pass for the stage show. A different game show they had in Vegas. Just a little bit of miscellaneous. None of that really has any value, though. Wheel of Fortune box crossword game. It's worth about $15. And then we have a pyramid game with Donny Osmond on the cover, and that's worth about $25. And then we have some of the pictures of some of the Price is Right models, like Rachel Reynolds. And these are they're not worth very much, probably worth about $8 each. And we have 4 different models, I believe. Manuela. I think I got these off of eBay at one point when I was really collecting game show stuff. Here is, I think his name's Chuck Berry from The Gong Show, and it's autographed. That's worth about $15. And then Brandy Sherwood, her autographed picture from Price is Right is worth about $12. And then here's a couple more of the Price is Right models framed. Amber Lancaster. And then in the very back, we have Gwendolyn. I don't even remember her on the Price is Right. It's been a while. All right, we have this Mr. Game Show game still in the box worth at least $100. He's pretty valuable on eBay. And then we have a Let's Make a Deal game with Wayne Brady on the cover, and it's worth about $25. We've got a Price is Right deck of playing cards worth about $7, and a Family Feud strikeout game worth about $10. Have these vintage Drew Carey notepads. And I have 2 of these because I got them off eBay as a gift for somebody else and never gave them away. So they're worth about $12 each. Oh, I love the Price is Right. One day it's going to happen for me. We have a Weakest Link mug. It's worth at least $10. And then from Hallmark, we have a Wheel of Fortune ornament. And this is worth probably about $12. I have a little picture of Pat and Vanna worth about $1. A Drew Carey doll that's worth about $20. And then this Price is Right watch, it's worth at least $20. I might wear that if I ever go back. When I got called out on the traveling show, this is the prize I wanted to get on stage. It was a Seiko watch. It was valued at $275. I don't know what that's worth now, so I'm going to say about $100. But I've been to the Price is Right traveling show a bunch of times, and I've been chosen 4 times. I won twice, lost once, and then didn't make it on stage once. Some Bob Barker earrings are worth about $5. I have a Wheel of Fortune key ring that's worth about $8. And then this little Pat and Vanna keychain. I got to glue Pat back on his card. They're worth about $12 each. And that's what it'll look like when I glue it back. I thought they'd be worth a little bit more than $12. You never see any Wheel of Fortune toys or anything. And then we have this big Wheel of Fortune watch still in the box worth about $25. This was part of my Halloween costume one year, probably worth about $2. And then a Vanna Speaks book, it's worth about $10. And then a Vanna and Pat picture is worth about $5. And then that one's probably worth $5 since they're framed. And then we have this big wheel. And you get to spin it and see if you can win. And it's probably worth about $40. And then I made this collage of one of the years we went to the Price is Right in Las Vegas, and I got called out on Let's Make a Deal one year, so I framed all that. This doesn't really have anything in it that has any value. It means a lot to me. I see like Diva impersonation brochure in here that's probably worth about $5, and the frame's probably worth $5, so we'll just say $10. There's my name tag when I was on Let's Make a Deal, and then we just had a great time. I love game shows so much. I like to travel, but since we have the puppy now, we don't really travel much anymore. We like to stay home and take care of her. All right, then here I am on Let's Make a Deal with Wayne Brady. I have some canvases made. Had a chance to win a car. I was super nervous. I won $1,000, and then I had to decide if I wanted to keep it or go for the car. So I went for the car, and I ended up losing. So I didn't really win anything, but I think they gave me $200 for being called out, and it was fun. Brochures are worth about $3, and then this old part of Ray's Let's Make a Deal costume where we made the curtains you could look behind to see if you won or not. It's probably worth about $20. But Ray ended up getting picked as one of the at-home contestants, and he actually made it to the big deal of the day. And he ended up winning a sauna, and we live in Mississippi, so Mississippi is like a sauna, and it's still in the garage in the box. But we're thinking about actually setting it up this year. It's been in the box for like 5 years. There's a couple more pictures. Wayne Brady, it's probably worth $1. I have this Jeopardy game that's worth about $12. It all adds up. This $20,000 pyramid game is vintage. It's worth about $20. And so is this Family Feud game. It's vintage, worth about $20. I have this cool Press Your Luck game still in the box with a plush whammy worth about $32. And then a Card Sharks game still sealed in the box worth about $20. And then we have this vintage 21 game for the TV quiz show, and it's worth about $20. We've got this framed autographed picture of Vanna White and Pat Sajak. It's probably worth about $50. And then we have their Funkos. The Vanna Funko's worth about $18, and the Pat's worth about $15. And then we have this vintage Price is Right board game. It's worth about $20. And then we also have a vintage Wheel of Fortune board game, also worth about $20. And then we have the Price is Right DVD game, worth about $16, and an electronic Let's Make a Deal game worth about $25 with Monty Hall on the box. And then we have a DVD of Family Feud with Richard Kane on the front. I believe that's his name. It's worth about $18. That's from 2005. I have a Let's Make a Deal board game. We have a couple of these. It's worth at least $25. I don't know which one to keep. The one with the stain on the front or the one that's been faded. It's a hard decision. And then we have this really early version of a vintage Price is Right game worth about $25. A Plinko game still in the box worth about $50. I love Plinko. That time I got picked on Price is Right Traveling Show, that's when I got to play, and I won $1,000. All right, then we have the Deal or No Deal electronic game. It's worth about $18. Let's see what else we have. I have this little Friends album, probably worth about $5 just for the album, but it's got a lot of my really cool pictures of the different times we went to The Price is Right. And there we are. I screenshotted some of it from the TV show. I've been to 16 different tapings of The Price is Right over 32 years and have not been called out. But I know I got really close a couple times. So you never know. I might try it again one more time in the future. Who knows? All right, we have a Jeopardy board game with Alex Trebek. It's worth about $20. I have a picture of Bob Barker and the models. Probably worth about $5 because I don't think that's a real signature. I think it's photocopied. There I am on the Traveling Price is Right show at the wheel. And this is cool. It's a gold-plated flatware set. It's the second time I went to the Travel and Price is Right show when I got picked, and I won my way on stage by being the closest bidder to this. It was $425 is how much they said it was worth, so I figure it's worth about $200 at least. And then here it is, the time I made it on stage and didn't win. I had to play any number, and I ended up getting the piggy bank, and I won $7.85. Here's some cool name tag holders we got last time we went to The Price is Right. And they give these out free so you can kind of keep your name tag without messing it up. And it's probably worth about $5. And back in the day before everything was on the computer where you printed out your own tickets, they mailed you these tickets in the mail for your taping of The Price is Right. And I have a bunch with Bob Barker and Drew Carey, and these are worth about $5 each. So about $40 for the whole set. And then here's a different version of the Price is Right board game worth about $25. All right, then we have some Vanna White dolls. She made a ton of these because she used to sell stuff on the Home Shopping Network. But these dolls are silver, gold, and platinum, and then the Home Shopping Network doll. And we have 4 of these, and they're worth about $20 each. They're not super valuable, but it is Vanna White, so I'm going to keep them with our game show memorabilia. Again, she just put her name dolls every single year. Here's their version of kind of like the Holiday Barbie, 2 Vanna White dolls for Christmas. They're worth about $20 each. And then here's one also for Mother's Day, worth about $20 as well. And then we have Vanna traveling the world. So we have Vanna, I think, in Italy. And then she's in Hollywood next. These are all worth about $15 each. They're pretty easy to find on eBay. And then there's the Home Shopping Network doll. And then there she is in Paris. And then we have Vanna in Aspen. And then we also have one of just her in the USA. And then we have some of her from a whole different line. You see there's a different box. It's blue with a cartoon version of Vanna. We only have 2 from that line, and those are worth about $22 each. And then we have the Vanna doll with her new baby boy, and that's worth about $25. And then from 1981, we have this Vanna doll that's in pink in original fashion, worth about $20. All right, we have a win, lose, or draw game. It's worth about $20. And then we have another Price is Right vintage game worth about $20. And then we have a vintage Jeopardy game worth about $16. And another Price is Right game worth about $20. They made a ton of these Price is Right games. And then we have the electronic game back there still in the box, never been opened, worth about $35. And then we have a Drew Carey promotional picture worth about $10. And then a vintage picture of the original Price is Right models, probably worth about $10. I think it's just a copy. I have one more Vanna doll, Vanna in Spain, worth about $20. Have a framed picture of me on our local newspaper when I was on Let's Make a Deal. I don't think it's worth anything, probably $6 for the frame. But it means a lot to me. I got to be on the front page of my newspaper. All right, I've got a life-size cutout of myself. Well, it's really a miniature one. And that's when I was called out on Let's Make a Deal. It's not worth anything. And then this podium, that was my Halloween costume one year, is probably worth about $20. It took a lot of time to make it, but it's just not worth very much. Have this little green podium worth about $15, and my Let's Make a Deal shirt on a torso form, probably worth $20 because of the torso form. And then I have this full-size mannequin with my Let's Make a Deal costume on it, probably worth about $75 because of the mannequin. Got a couple more stands there. One's worth about $15, one's worth $20. Here's my Price is Right shirt with Drew Carey I painted on there with the torso form, probably worth about $20. And this one's also worth about $20 for the torso form. Drew Carey actually signed this one. I didn't get picked, but he liked my shirt and did call me down to sign it. So that was something. One day, maybe I'll get picked, or maybe if I don't, I'll go to heaven and they'll say, like, Christopher Shannon, come on down. And that'll be the way I go to heaven. All right, that Verizon helmet was part of the production on The Price is Right one year. It was worth about $10. Here's another collage I made of all this fun stuff in here. It's got a Bob Barker autograph picture in there and some more of those tickets and a playbill from Legally Blonde and the frames. I'd say worth about $60 for the stuff in there, but mainly it's just a lot of memories and keepsakes I framed up. Another podium worth about $15, and then my cliffhanger shirt on the dress form, probably worth about $20. And then we've got some more frame things. There I am wearing my favorite shirt I ever wore there. Picture of Drew Carey, one of the first times we went out there together. And then some more collages. I don't think any of that really has any big value. Couple more frame pictures. That one with Drew Carey and the models. That one's probably worth about $10. So that's a little bit. And there's my Halloween costume I wore one year. That was pretty fun. And then there I am again getting called out in Vegas. All right, got a Plinko board with no chips. We'll just hang on the wall, worth about $10. And a Price is Right costume, probably worth about $10 in the bag. Here's a giant painting I did for the room. It's worth at least $100. There's a lot of time put into that, and it's a really cool painting, and it's huge. Here's a picture of me and my friends out there one time. The frames alone for all these little things, I'm just going to throw in another $20. And then this Bob Barker set here with the postcards and autograph pictures, worth at least $20. And then we have another big collage. Got a Price is Right Live t-shirt in the back. And here's some of my Let's Make a Deal stuff. And I have another collage over here. I'm going to say all the frames and some of the little fun stuff in there and the shirts. Probably $35 for all that. And then here's another one of my Let's Make a Deal costumes. I was on this show 3 times, never won. But with the mannequin and the costume, it's probably worth about $75. But Wayne Brady loved my costumes. And unfortunately, I've lost 2 cars on Let's Make a Deal. And here's the tray of food I was carrying with my costume that's really cool. Probably worth about $20. And I actually got this off eBay, but I really love it. It's Bob Barker's signature, and they framed it up professionally with his color publicity picture. It's probably worth about $75. And there's my helper Daisy. I love her. And then here's another little painting I did that says Mississippi Loves Wheel of Fortunes, probably worth about $20. It's got my grandmother and one of my best friends that passed away, Shirley, and myself. So, I don't know, I thought that was kind of a special little painting I did to remember my loved ones. And then I have this, that's a pressure slot machine glass. It's huge, and I got it in Vegas. I had it shipped home, and it's probably worth about $200. Well, with our previous 461 videos of value on my toy collection, our total had been $1,153,923. And then with this video of all of our game show memorabilia, we can add another $2,838 to our total. So that means our grand total for episode 462 of Value in My Toy Collection is $1,156,761. I always wanted to say I have $1 million toy collection, and now I can say it. But I don't really think I'm a millionaire. I think I'm more of a toyonaire because it's not actual cash money. But I've just been saving this stuff all my life, going to garage sales and thrift stores, flea markets, toy stores, and looking online, and it's just accumulated to this big old total over the years. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're enjoying these videos as much as I am making them. I like to see what all I have and what it's worth. And I'm putting all the toys on our Facebook page, which is called the Toy Vault of Mississippi. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please think about doing so because it really helps us grow. So until our next video, we will see you then.